The Colonial SDO from Manyu is threatening radio stations for being professional. He feels that they are professional, or he feels that they are not professionals with what they are doing. But this report will definitely clear it out. The Eden radio station in Victoria has reacted to the accusations levied on them by the Colonial Senior Divisional Officer for Fako County over the station's reporting on the Victoria City's Council, accusing it of inciting public unrest by issuing a strong response. The radio station, in response, firmly defended its editorial practices, asserting that its reporting adheres to the highest standards of journalism. The Colonial SDO Vyang Mikala, in a letter dated September 13th, frowned at what he described as Eden Radio's persistence against all actions carried out by the Victoria City Council and particularly the Colonial City Mayor. Mikala's caution pointed to allegations that Eden Radio broadcasts were stirring resistance among traders and general public against tax recovery efforts and other actions taken by the Colonial City Council. The Colonial SDO called for the radio station to respect journalistic ethics and objectivity, warning that failure to do so could lead to social unrest in Victoria. And so you see the contrast. We reported of a journalist who called for killing of Amazonians. And here we have journalists who are trying to be objective, who are being threatened. Well, reacting to the accusation, the radio issued the response dated September 20th and signed by its general manager. Rejecting the Colonial SDO's claim, he emphasized that their reporting is accurate, fair, and following the ethics and ideologies of journalism. The station maintained that it does not create news, but reports on factual events, particularly those involving the Victoria City Council. While Eden Radio cited several examples of their investigative work on the Colonial Council's action, and some of them include the station reported on the stealing of the office of the first deputy mayor for over 10 years, calling it an abuse of power. This action was only reversed after the intervention from local authorities. While Eden Radio also covered the controversial relocation of a clandestine motor park near 7 schools, highlighting safety concerns for children in the area despite the move issues regarding the well-being of students. The station also reported an illegal construction in Victoria, particularly on waterways and under high-tension power lines. Eden Radio has been vocal about the poor state of garbage collection in the city, just like Undaunted has been doing, and how it has left Victoria in neglect for the past 2 years. But all of this mention just shows that, regardless of the efforts that people put in, the colonial authorities will definitely want everyone, especially journalists, to dance to their tones. Those who do not dance to their tones are threatened to be in prison. Of course, we know of Wazizi and the rest who have refused to dance to the tones of colonial government. But we have seen a video of one who has danced to the tune of the colonial government and he's walking freely. Barrister Mbeseha. Here is a contrast of what we are talking about. Let's get your thoughts.
Well, I think the Colonial Senior Divisional Officer has no morality to lecture a good journalist. Journalists are not newsmakers.
Obviously.
Journalists are news reporters. But they do more than reporting. They investigate and then report the facts as they are. They should praise the journalists for doing a good job rather than threaten them. The administration thinks that if the journalists,
he would say the so-called good jobs of journalists is probably tainting or denting his image, so he may not consider that as a good job. Don't you think so?
Well, what I'm trying to say is that, you see, a good news to them is news that conceals what they do.
Obviously.
It's news that does not hurt them. And so they believe that if you report according to the data, if you report this thing objectively, quoting the letter, it would cause some unrest people will be dissatisfied with what government is doing. That is the whole reason why he's writing to warn them. Report what we want, not what it is. Don't tell the public what we have done wrong. If you have done something wrong, turn it around and make it look right. For fear that people, if they heard these wrong things, they might rebel, they might revolt against us. That is not journalism. We thank the newspaper for their reply. We understand the difficulties there are, reporting even when they were there. You mentioned Wazizi. We don't know where that Wazizi is. Wazizi died, he told us. We have not seen his corpse. Nobody knows where he was buried. Why he died. That is an Amazonian. We don't know what was his crime, other than perhaps he was reporting something the government didn't want to do, to hear. We remember the story of Martin Zogo. This Zogo is a similar guy. He was killed in Yaoundé, but his story has made news all over the world because he is a francophone, because he's the Betty man of all. And then his story, his killing makes news. Wazizi, just like the poor Eden reporter, he will probably just eliminate him. But it's good that they've written that letter. The public is aware. We know the danger that these reporters face. We can only pray for their survival because it's a very difficult situation. We have been talking about the international community. The international community depends upon fair reporting to get the news of what is happening. If the Russians want to help us, you don't expect the Russian ambassador to go and sit in Quen, or to go and sit in Batibo, or to go and sit in Dian. A good reporter makes the news. Based on that good reporting, they make their reports to their home governments. So this is a government of criminals who do everything wrong and do everything to hide it. They are accomplices in all the human rights violations. They are actors, direct actors and accomplices. But they don't want this known. And so I don't know how to describe them. Those people in the right full time, at the right moment, they will all face justice. That duo, for example, for trying to hide the truth, concealment of a crime is a crime. Concealment is a crime. If I saw somebody kill you with a cutlass, I took the cutlass and throw it away. I'm covered with blood, I'm concealing the thing. I'm an accomplice. So these people are exposing themselves unknowingly or knowingly to some crimes they don't know. Again, a khaki wearing Enam trained guy is trying to lecture a journalist. What idea does he have about journalism? Absolutely no idea. He has no idea. The greatest problem that the Republic has ever had, that will remain with them forever, is the idea of these so-called duos, trained from some school to go Enam, who are the overlords of everything. They settle land disputes. When your electric light is not there, they settle it. When you have no water in your house, they settle it. They have no idea about water generation. They have no idea about electricity. They have no idea about anything other than the khaki shirt they wore on them for going to a certain school called Enam. Until that thing goes away. Even in Bamenda or Boya Okuma, you elect, let us even say they elect a mayor. The mayor can do nothing without going to take permission from this khaki wearing idiot. His only power is that he has a khaki shirt. His only thing is that he has a decree signed by somebody in Yaoundé appointing him to that place. Again, I was talking to a friend. We live in big towns. I'm in Seattle. Seattle is bigger than Douala. I've never heard Seattle 1, Seattle 2, Seattle 3, Seattle 4. There you go here, Bamenda 1, Bamenda 2, Bamenda 3, Bamenda 4, Bamenda 5. All these Bamenda 1, 2, 3, Kumba 1, 2, 3, Douala 1, this nonsense. Each of them is headed, he's supposed to be a mayor there, but each of them is also headed by a khaki wearing man called you. appointed by Yaoundé. The elected mayor can do nothing if at all he was ever elected without the fiat of these khaki wearing idiots who know nothing about everything, but they want to claim to know everything in the world. And so these people, until we cannot reform them, the only way we can get free from them is to extract ourselves from them. Because that's the culture they grew in. They grew up in a dictatorship of the proletariat, of the boss. Like, again, to end this, I saw a report talking about these adoptions from Buya, talking about the guys adopted in Monakanda. The poor lawyer who has been fighting to release. I saw it now release. I saw what he said was on TV. The first thing he did was to thank the administrators in town. Thanking them for what? For people they illegally adopted. Oh, this is lawyer. Train them. Oh, thank you, Mr. Governor. Adopted people in Monakanda for doing nothing. Thank you for releasing some and keeping some that you intend to carry them to the military tribunal. This is bullshit. This is bullshit. Somebody commits a crime against you, you're thanking him. Because if you don't do it, poor lawyer, maybe they'll come in the evening for you. So it should never have happened, but it has happened. I can say that 63 years of this nonsense is too much. We have to fight and fight and fight until we get out of it. God willing, sooner than later. Over to you.
God willing. All right, well, the threat from the Colonial Senior Divisional Officer for FACO is to stop the press from playing their major role, which is the watchdog function, a function that is exposing the lapses of the colonial regime, obviously. Barrister Mbeseha is at this point that will let you go, knowing that, on Thursdays another time with you here on Undaunted.